Word on the street is that Dana White's 300 main event announcement has fallen flat. Fans and pros who were bursting at the seams with excitement before the revelation are now all disappointed. In today's video, let's uncover why things didn't pan out as expected, or if there's any room whatsoever for better matchups. After keeping people waiting for months, Dana finally announced the main event for UFC 300 at the close of UFC 298 in Anaheim, California. In a video filmed at the Honda Center and later posted to his social media, the MMA mogul revealed that the main event would feature Alex Pereira defending his light heavyweight title against Jamahal Hill. The president then went on to talk about how Hill had surrendered the light heavyweight title after an injury in July 2023, allowing Poten to swoop in and claim the title with his TKO win over Yuri Prochazka later that same year in November. Now that's a great storyline for a fight, but if fans' expectations were to be taken into account, I can see why they're frustrated. The event's missing all the highly anticipated matchups, like Duplessis versus Adesanya, McGregor versus Chandler, or even Khabib. While expressing their disappointment, different fans came to different conclusions about the picks. However, most of their opinions roughly boiled down to the idea that the current fight wasn't originally on the cards. They think the promotion might have announced it simply because they were short on time and under a lot of pressure. Alternatively, fans who'd been keeping up with MMA news were quick to point out the several occasions where the promotion struggled or outright failed to book bigger fights for this event. Take the time they failed to book John Jones as an example.
So John, I know it's only 9 weeks away, but if there's any chance you're feeling up to it, man, it'd be awesome news for the community that you're coming back and headlining one of the biggest events ever. And as honored as I am for the opportunity, I just don't think I'll be ready. I just don't. And so
what's more, there were also a handful of comparisons to UFC 100 and 200, with fans describing the upcoming event as average at best. Some of them even went as far as to say that UFC 299, where O'Malley will be up against Vera for the second time since UFC 252, seems more promising than UFC 300. While all these disappointed fans are entitled to their opinions, there are also a select few who seem quite satisfied with the picks for the main event. One fan, for instance, expressed that while the fight shouldn't have headlined the upcoming event, it's still going to be a banger. Some of Hill's fans also chimed in, asking other fans to report for duty and warning people to quit making fun of Jamahal. Similarly, the fans over at Reddit appeared to be holding up much better because they'd already anticipated the event to be a disappointment. Speaking of anticipation, here's a quick rundown of why the top dogs won't be competing at this event. When it comes to Conor, there's a lot of conflicting information coming out about why he wasn't given the headliner slot for UFC 300. There's the obvious injury that he sustained during his trilogy against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. But as far as I'm concerned, Ariel Helwani may have had a point when he told Bill Simmons that the UFC is trying to have their cake and eat it too, in the Irishman's case. According to Helwani's theory, the promotion knows UFC 300 is going to bring in over 1 million pay-per-views as is. As a result, they want to preserve Conor's fight for the Fight Night event in June 2024 to secure 1 million more. Helwani also revealed that, contrary to popular belief, Conor is perfectly healthy to compete. I'm sure you all figured that out from all these sparring and training videos he's posted recently. All the reports of Dricus du Plessis still recovering from his injury, meanwhile, are true. While speaking to a South African radio station, he revealed that he hasn't fully recovered from the bruises he got during his split decision victory over Sean Strickland at UFC 297. He also went on to say that defending his title is more important to him than headlining a milestone event. The fighter also seems set on competing at a massive event on home soil. He's hoping he gets his heart's desire because it's been a long time coming. While on the subject of home, it saddens me to say that all reports of Khabib's return to MMA have no truth to them. The Eagle, as you guys might know, stepped away from both fighting and coaching following the death of his father in 2020, and upon his mother's request. when news broke of his coach Javier Mendez visiting him recently. However, rumors about his possible return started doing the rounds. It turns out that the two were only getting a little cardio work in. Mendez, in fact, cleared the air by saying that Khabib was still dedicated to his family and would never fight again. That said, even though Israel Adesanya's head coach Eugene Bareman had expressed a strong possibility of the fighter going up against Duplessis at UFC 300, the poor guy has sadly been sidelined. The stylebender expressed his disappointment with the turn of events by posting a now-deleted story to his Instagram. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that his caption, which read something like, "I was ready to," might be a dig at Dana White's appreciation of Leon Edwards. In the interview following UFC 298, Dana was all praised for the fighter for being ready for whatever was being thrown his way and saying yes to almost all opponents.
Leon Edwards has had like 3 opponents throughout this thing. Leon Edwards doesn't say no to anybody.
Finally, Michael Chandler also expressed his disappointment at not being able to take on Conor in April. There were reports that he might be asked to go up against Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 300 as a lightweight. However, Chandler dismissed those reports by saying that he had his sights set on the Irishman. With the sidelined fighters out of the way, let's take a quick look at how the chosen ones reacted to the news. Jamahal apparently was offered the fight at the last minute and said yes because the offer meant a lot to him. He thinks it's the promotion's way of showing their trust in his abilities. He also addressed all the criticism that the announcements received on his YouTube channel. Sweet Dreams thinks that the fans' expectations were not only unreal, but also they wouldn't have been happy.
Sweet Dreams is back, man. It's time for the king to come back, reclaim his throne.
Even if it was Conor versus Jesus himself, I'm happy that at least someone sees the humor in this whole fiasco. On the other hand, Pereira, while speaking to Helwani on the MMA Hour, revealed that there are only ever 2 outcomes to a fight. Either you lose or you win. And Poatan wants to win. Although I appreciate his confidence at this point, I have no way of saying which way the wind will blow. I think both of them have amazing potential. And now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news for the 2 fighters' fans. But according to some of Dana's comments about the difficulties surrounding the competition, chances are they'll be reshuffled. Yup, you heard that right. He said, and I quote, "Everything that everybody thinks about UFC 300 right now, literally all could change tomorrow." So yeah, a switch up might be on the horizon, especially seeing that the fight is still a month away. So all you Conor fans out there, keep your fingers crossed. Before I conclude and keep our dissatisfaction aside, let me quickly walk you through the details of the upcoming event. As I said, it's going to take place in April 13th, Saturday to be exact. As for the venue, the promotion is heading to Las Vegas again, with the action set to take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Nevada. And while start times are still being debated, the prelim card is likely to be underway at 11:30 p.m. UK time. This means that the main card might be around 1 a.m., with the main event taking place anywhere between 4 and 5 a.m. Speaking of the prelims, we all got to witness bouts like Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. What's more, Holly Holm is all set to take on Olympic judo gold medalist Kayla Harrison, despite fans' complaints about the matchup being insulting to Kayla. That's all, folks. Do you see a reshuffle happening? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.